it's Jamie. Welcome back. So today's video is a tutorial on how to make a witch's hat wreath using the Dollar Tree witch hat wreath form. So I have made a video like this about 3 years ago when I first started my channel. And so I thought that I would go ahead and just make an updated version. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the materials that I'm starting off with, and I will make sure to leave a materials list down in the description box so that you guys can refer there to see all the materials that I used. And usually how I make my wreaths is I always start off with the basics of what I'm showing you, and then I end up adding more. So just make sure that you do check the description box down below for the materials list. So I'm going to go ahead and start showing you guys the stuff that I'm going to be using. So you will need one of the witch hat. This is the Tinsel wreath hat that you can get from the Dollar Tree. They're just calling it decor. So you'll need one of those. You're also going to need a couple of zip ties. And then you're going to need at least 15, give or take. You might want to add a couple more in there of pipe cleaners. So we'll be using that. I'm also going to be using a roll of this ribbon. Now, I'm choosing to do my wreath in purple and black theme. Now, you can do it in any colors that you choose. But I'm going to use some of this. This is the Crafter Square 2.5 inch wide wired edge ribbon. And this is a 9-foot roll. So I will be using one roll of that. I'm also going to be using some of this mesh tubing, and this is also from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to be using it in the color black and purple. Now this mesh tubing is, you get 36 feet in here. So I will be using at least one of each of those. Next, I'm going to be using some Deco Mesh. Now this Deco Mesh I purchased from Walmart. And I did get it on clearance for 75 cents, but I'm not sure if Walmart still sells this or not. But you can always get your Deco Mesh from Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Michael's, even online. So this is the 10 inch by 10 yard Deco Mesh, and I'm just going to be using the color black. Now this is the brand Design It Simple Style from Walmart, and this isn't like real high quality mesh, but it is affordable, so I am going to be using some of that. And then also the same brand, I'm going to be using this purple, and this does have some foiling going through it, so I will be using some of that. And then obviously you're going to need your hot glue gun, some hot glue, scissors, and anything else that I add to it, I will make sure to let you guys know. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and show you guys how I make this witch hat wreath. Okay, so for the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to remove the tag, and then this does come with a hanger on the back, which I'm not going to be using that. So I am just going to turn this over, and then I'm probably going to just cut this off because I won't need it. I'll cut that off and just throw it aside. And then if you want to, you can totally disassemble this if you want. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. But what I am going to do is I am going to remove this boo sign right here. This is just glued down. So, and it doesn't matter if it brings, take some of that tinsel with it, because we're not going to see this anyway. So take that off. And then I'm also going to remove the buckle part. And then if you want, you can remove this down here. I'm going to go ahead and take off my tinsel right here because I just don't want that to show, just in case, because it's silver and it's not going to go with anything, the theme of the wreath, because I'm doing it in purple and black. So I'm going to go ahead and just take that off of there. And now you'll see these wreath forms here, they do have some little nubby pieces on the ends, and I'm just going to leave those there too. I'm not going to be cutting those off. And it looks like this has been glued on the back. So, oh no, I got it. Just pulled it right off of there. Okay, so there is that. Now, if you want to remove the tinsel down here, you can. It's totally up to you. So I prefer to take it off just so I can see like the bones that I'm working with, basically. So, and I'm not going to need this tinsel here, so I'm not going to be real gentle with getting it off of here. So I'll probably just end up cutting some of this off because it gets on there pretty good. So I'm just going to remove this tinsel, and they just weave it sort of back and forth on these little knobs. So it's pretty easy to remove. So I say that and then and watch it be hard. So, but I will be cutting this off because I don't need this tinsel. I'm going to end up throwing it away anyway. So now that I have all my tinsel off that I want to take off, I'm going to move on and show you guys how I wire the brim of this witch's hat wreath. So you will need 15 pipe cleaners, and I prefer to use pretty much the same color, but I ran out of the purple, so all I had left was black. So I'm just going to substitute and use my black, which is fine. Okay. So you're going to need a total of 15 pipe cleaners, and you will have 6 going across the top. Then you will have 7 going across the bottom, and then you're going to have 1 pipe cleaner in each corner. So to do that, I'll show you guys. I'm going to go ahead and take one of my pipe cleaners. I'm going to start over here at the tip of the brim of the hat, and I'm just going to add one of the pipe cleaners, and I'm going to put it as far up in the corner as I can get it. And then I'm just going to twist that around about 3 times. So there is the first one. Next, I'm going to move down, and I'll probably go about, I'm leaving these nubs on here, so I'll probably count over. See, we'll start with this first one, so I'll count over to 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to add a pipe cleaner right here. And all I'm doing is going up underneath the frame, and I'm coming in through the middle here. You'll see the middle has a bar going across through the whole center. So I'm going to be taking my pipe cleaner up behind that center bar. And then I'm just going to be adding this on the outside. So we're just going to be wiring these the center bar and the outside one. So now I'm just going to give that about 3 twists also. So there is our second one. And then the next one, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to kind of space these out how I think I might need them there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just count over probably 3 more of those little nubs there. Go up underneath. And you want to get these kind of snug, but not too snug because it will snap the frame. So there is the third one. To move to the top of the brim, and we're going to add our pipe cleaners to that. And to do that, it's basically the same thing. There is no exact measurements on where to put the pipe cleaners. You just use your best judgment. So I'm going to go ahead and put one kind of right in this little curve. Oops. And I am going to be wiring this center bar right here. It just makes it more stable so that your pipe cleaners aren't, you know, slipping and sliding around everywhere. So there's one. going to come down. I think I'm going to come to where this cross member is right here. And I'm going to go in and then come back up. You guys can see that where this cross member goes behind there. So there's two. And then this one, I think I'm just going to go kind of in between this right here. Now, as you're making your wreath, if you decide that you need to move them, you can. Or if you need to add some, you can add more if you want. Just depending on, you know, how full you want it and everything. So there is that. So we have got the brim all wired. All right, so now I'm going to move on to the top of the hat. So now we're going to move on and we're going to decorate our top of the hat. So I'm going to move this down here to where we get to the tip of the hat, and I'm just going to flip the wreath over. And as you can see, there is the same sort of cross members, the bars and stuff going through the witch frame. Now up here at the top, you only have one bar going through. Through the middle, you have two of these bars going through the middle. And then down on the bottom, you'll have three of the, I don't know what you want to call these little cross members going through. So when we get up here to the top, there is not a, there's no cross member up here until you get to this first one, right, is right here. So we are going to be taking a zip tie, and I'm just going to go in up underneath. I don't know if you guys can see this. Up underneath through that cross member there, that crossbar. I'm going to come back up with my zip tie here. So there is your zip tie. You're going to hold that right there. Next, I'm going to be taking the ribbon, and all I'm going to do is take the end of my ribbon, and I'm just going to kind of gather it up here on the end. And then I'm going to be attaching it to the tip of my hat. And you want to attach it to where your start of your ribbon faces down. So it's facing down toward the bottom of your wreath. So all I'm going to do now is just attach it with the zip tie. Maybe if I can get my zip tie to cooperate with me. Make sure I keep my ribbon inside there. Okay, so I'm going to cinch that down pretty good, and then I'll be cutting that off. Okay, now we're going to take our wreath, and we're just going to flip it over to the right side. And then all you're going to do is take your ribbon and start wrapping it around. So I'm going to try and get this to where it goes up over that, you know, the tip of the hat, so none of the tinsel is sticking out. But if the tinsel sticks out, then that's perfectly fine. It's not that big of a deal, because we'll probably end up adding a bow or something anyway to the top. So So I am just going to start by kind of wrapping this over. And I'm just going to continue just wrapping my ribbon around my wreath. And it usually helps just to leave your ribbon there and then just kind of turn your witch's hat as you go. Slide that down in between there. It likes to get caught on those little nubbies there. All the way until I get to the back of the hat. And then once I get to the back where I want to stop, I'm going to go ahead and cut the end off. And then I'm going to take my zip tie, and then I am going to secure it on the back here, going through the bottom of the brim of the hat right here, if that makes any sense. So I'm just going to run my zip tie up through there and then come out across the bottom here. These are not the greatest zip ties in the world. Alright, so now I have that cinched down. I'm going to go ahead and snip off my zip tie. Let me go ahead and cut off the back of this ribbon too. So flip it back over to the front here. And here is what it looks like with our ribbon all on there. The next step is you're going to be cutting your Deco Mesh, and I like to use a wood burning tool to cut my Deco Mesh, especially when it's the plastic that has the plastic fibers going through it. Now there is poly burlap Deco Mesh, which I wouldn't recommend wood burning that. But the plastic stuff, you should be fine. And the reason why I cut it with a wood burning tool is because it seals the ends, so you have less fraying. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and you will need 15 pieces of Deco Mesh. And this is the 10-inch Deco Mesh. So you will need 15 pieces cut to 15 inches long. So, and that's for both colors. I'm using black and the purple, so you will need 15 of each. So, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys here really quick. I'm not going to do all of them. I'll just do this one to show you guys how I do it with the wood burning tool. Now, this is my wood burning tool that I got from Walmart. It's by Plaid. I think it was, I don't know, less than $15 for this wood burning tool. So I do have a glass cutting board, so make sure that you do, if you use a wood burning tool, you do have a glass cutting board or a tempered glass underneath your mesh so that you don't burn your table or whatever it is that's underneath it. So I'm going to measure this out to 15 inches, and then I will be wood burning that at the 15-inch mark. And I try to keep it as straight as I can. It has these little grids, so I try to stay right in the center of the grid. So that it does have a straight the straightest edge that I can get it, so it's not all wonky. But anyway, that is how I cut my mesh. So I will be cutting 15 of the black at 15 inches long and 15 of the purple at 15 inches long. So now I'm going to move on to showing you guys how I put the mesh in the wreath. So I'm going to go ahead and set my little wreath over here to the side for just 1 second. And then I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to be using the ruffle method. So all I'm going to do is take, it doesn't matter whichever color, I think I'm going to start with the purple. And all I'm doing is just uncurling the mesh, laying it face down, and I'm going to put something on the end here to weight it down so that it doesn't move. And then I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm just going to find the center of my mesh, take my 2 thumbs, and I'm just going to push up the center, walking my fingers up the mesh and dragging the mesh toward me. So then you'll end up with what looks like a bow. So I'm going to keep that right there. And I'm going to be using these little clamps. You can use paper clips or binder clips, clothespins, chip clips, whatever you want to hold on to your mesh for you. So there's that one. And then I'm going to move on to the black one. Same thing, just uncurling it to where it curls up on itself and laying it face down. And I'm going to weight the end of it there. Find the base, find the middle, take my 2 thumbs, and just push and scrunch up through the middle, pulling the mesh toward me. And this is going to make my ruffle. So there is the one. Now I'm going to take the 2 and I'm going to combine them together. So I'm just hanging on to that with my fingers here. And then I'm going to add them together where they're side by side. So they look like this. Next I'm going to grab the frame, and I'm just going to start up here at the top, at the point of my brim here. Just going to open that pipe cleaner up, and then I'm just going to lay my Deco Mesh right down in the center of that pipe cleaner. So I'm going to give this about 3 or 4 turns. There we go. So there is the first one. And I'm going to go ahead and fluff my mesh out as I go. Try and get it kind of fanned out there. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the next one, and it's just the same thing. Frame here, and I'm just going to add this to the next. Now I'm starting with the outside pipe cleaners first, the ones that are on the bottom of the brim, and then I'll move over to the ones that are on the top of the brim, or the inner ones. So the next pipe cleaner here, open it up, and I'm going to lay these to where this finished edge right here is going in, if that makes any sense. So I'll lay this down right here in the center. just going to twist that pipe cleaner about 3 times. And I'm not cutting my pipe cleaners off. I'm leaving them on there because I will be adding some more things to it. So after I got it in the pipe cleaner there, I'm just going to go and kind of fluff up my mesh here. I just fluff as I go. You can do it after you're done, but I would just rather do mine as I go. So I'm going to go ahead and continue, and I'm just going to fill up the bottom, and then I'm also going to fill up the top pipe cleaners. And as soon as I am done, I will come back and show you guys what to do next. Great, so I have all of my Deco Mesh on the wreath, and this is what it looks like. Now it's really, really full, and I just love it. I have to say that doing these hat wreaths, they are probably my favorite to do. So I have so much fun doing them, and there's so many possibilities, so many ideas of things you can do. So anyway, now I'm going to move on, and I'm going to be putting some of this mesh tubing on there. And I have the color black and the color purple. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your tubing, you're going to grab one end of your tubing. Let's see if I can find where one of my ends, here we go. And you're just going to put these together. And then what we're doing is making bows, basically. So I'm just going to leave probably, I don't know, just a couple of inches for a tail. And then I'm going to come up about 2 inches up. And then all I'm going to do is just start making like loops. And I want my loops to be probably about 4 inches or so. Let me see if I can measure this. I was going to have to go up just a little bit more. So, let's see here, about 4. That's probably going to work. Yeah, about 4 inches. So we're just going to do one loop on this end, pull it down, do another loop, just like that. And then I think I may go ahead and just do it one more time. That's probably going to work. So I'll have 4 loops on this side and then just 2 down here. I can go ahead and try and do one more to see how that's going to look. Okay, so I think I'm going to do it with 4 loops on each end. So you'll have 4 loops on this end and then 4 loops on this end, and then you just pull down to about 2 inches. It doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be exact measurements. But anyway, so we're going to take our little bow here, our little loopy bow, and then we are going to be adding this into our wreath. So all you're going to do is go through and find all of your pipe cleaners, and I will be putting this in every single one of my pipe cleaners, the bottom ones and the top ones. So this is why I didn't want to cut off my pipe cleaners, because I will be adding stuff to them. So, here, I'll just go into this one right here and show you guys what I'll be doing. There's one leg of the pipe cleaner. Let me find the other one right there. So, you're just going to take your little loopy bow here, and you're just going to set it down there in the middle of your pipe cleaner. And then, same thing as you did with your ruffles, you're just going to give it 2 or 3 little twists to secure it. And I'm still at this point, I'm leaving my pipe cleaners on because I will be adding some more stuff. So anyway, this is how I'm going to be adding my little loopy bows. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. So I'm going to be doing that all over the wreath and putting the loopy bows in every pipe cleaner. As soon as I'm done with that, I will come back and show you what I'm going to be adding. So now I have all the little Deco Mesh tubing bows on here. And I think it turned out really, really cute. I did run out of Deco Mesh tubing, so I will make sure down in the description box to list how much tubing that you're going to need. So we are going to be using some of that tubing to make a bow for the top of the wreath. But for right now, I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to be adding to this. So I love to add these foam, I think they're called vase filler, but I get mine at Dollar Tree, and just anytime I'm in there and I see something new, I just pick it up. So I have quite a variety of these foam balls. So I'm going to be just using the black balls and the purple foam balls out of here, and I'm going to be adding those to my wreath. So to do that, all I'm going to do is kind of sort through here. This has got all kinds of different colors. And this isn't exactly, you know, the right color purple, but it's close enough. So, and I want to use, these do come in several different sizes, but I want to use the bigger foam balls. So all I'm going to be doing is putting these on the ends of my pipe cleaners. So, you're just going to go through and no particular order, just random. So I'm just going to go through and find my pipe cleaners in here, and then I'm just going to take my foam ball, and I am just going to slide that foam ball down onto that pipe cleaner. So there is one of them. Now, as soon as I get this done, I always go back in and I do hot glue the foam balls on. But I add the foam balls on first just to establish a hole inside the foam ball, so it's easier to slide on there when I put the hot glue on. So just going ahead and I'm going to be adding this black one to that pipe cleaner there. Find me another, here's another purple one. Reach down in here and find that pipe cleaner, add a purple foam ball on there. Then find me a black one. So I'm going to be doing this to every one of the pipe cleaners that are on this wreath. And then I'll go back in and I will be hot gluing the foam balls on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back and show you guys what I'm going to be adding to the top of the hat. I have all of the foam balls on, and I'm going to try and hold this up a little bit so you guys can see it. And I will get a better view of this after it's all done. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys what that does look like with the foam balls. Now, I didn't have a lot of the purple balls. I didn't have a lot of the big ones, so I did have to kind of alternate between the big ones and the medium-sized ones. But I still think it looks good, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to what we're going to do to the top of the hat. So I am going to be making a loopy bow. It's similar to what we did making the little loopy bows in the wreath. It's basically the same thing. I'm just going to be adding a few more loops to it. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball this and measure this out to probably about 3 inches, about a 3-inch tail or so. So I'm going to start from there, and then I'm just going to pull my tubing out, and this is with the Deco Mesh tubing. I'm going to pull it out, and I'm just going to make another loop. And this one, I'm just eyeballing it, but I'll go ahead and measure it for you guys though. So 1, 2, 3. It's about 4 inches. So about a 4-inch loop also. And we are going to loop this around. Instead of doing it 4 times like we did with the little loopy bows inside the wreath, we're going to do it 6. So I'm getting caught up here. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and just do 6 loops. So there's 4. There's 4 on that end. And then there's 6. And then I'm just going to measure, just eyeball it to 4 inches. Or 3-inch tails, sorry. So about like that. Next, I'm just going to keep a hold of it. And then I'm going to take a pipe cleaner. And I'm just going to fold my pipe cleaner in half. Just so I can find the middle of it. So it'll look like that. And then I'm just going to slide my pipe cleaner down over my little loopy bow down the middle there. And then turn it over. And then I'm just going to twist the back. I'm just going to twist it 4 or 5 times. And then that gives us our bow. Next, I'm just going to take the legs of the pipe cleaner. And we're going to find a spot on our hat wreath here that we can slide our pipe cleaner down in. Now, you'll have to go up sort of under the ribbon that you put down. So, I'm going to try, I think I'm going to put it right up here at the very tip so it makes it a little bit easier since there's already sort of an opening there. So, all you're going to do is slide your pipe cleaner down in there. Get that out of the way there. Okay, so there is the one end there. So it's just one leg there. You guys can see that. Slide that down. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I want it to kind of hang on the side. Let me see if I can get a better view. On the side of the hat there at that point. So now that we have that, I'm just going to, let me turn my wreath over here so you guys can get a better view of it. So I'm just going to twist my pipe cleaner legs together. I'm going to do it pretty snug, and I'm going to twist it 5 or 6 times. Okay. Now that that's done, I'm just going to snip off the remainder of that pipe cleaner there. Kind of fold this pipe cleaner, what's left of it, down because it does kind of stick out a little bit. And then just slide that ribbon up just a little bit to kind of cover up what is left there. Now, if you guys can see, the ribbon is on there really loose. If you didn't like it like that, you could go in with some hot glue and put a little dab of hot glue and just kind of press it down on the back here to hold that down if you wanted. To me, I'm not bothered by it, so it's really not that big of a deal to me. So anyway, I'm going to flip this back over, and then you guys can see how it looks on the tip of the hat, which I think is really cute. Gives it sort of like a whimsical kind of feeling. Okay, so the last thing, well, second to last thing, because I am going to be showing you guys how to put a hanger on this, because we have to hang it on our wall or our door, right? So the first thing that I'm going to put on here, and this is probably all the little kind of embellishment that I'm going to be doing. Because this wreath is so, I don't know how, it's, you know, really busy as it is. I don't want to add too much to it because then it just gets, I don't know, kind of hard to look at, I guess. But I feel like, you know, the less is more. So I won't be adding a sign or any kind of a bow or anything like that to this. I'm just going to add one of these back clips. Now, I did get these from the Dollar Tree, so I will be hot gluing one of these on to my little hat, and they do come with a clip, but I'm not going to be using this clip. So these are really easy to just pull off. So all you do is just grab a hold of your bat there and just pull it right off. So I'm going to hot glue my little bat, and I'm just going to put him down about midway on the hat. And I'm going to put him where he's kind of like, I don't know, sideways, kind of cockeyed. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of him here. I want to put enough on there that he don't fall off. So, right there. Press him down. Okay. I'm going to show you guys how to add a hanger to the back of your wreath. So I'm just going to be taking a pipe cleaner, and I ran out of black and I ran out of purple, so I have silver, but it's not that big of a deal because we're not going to see it anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the hanger, and I'm going to put it right where this the top of the hat kind of curves over. I'm going to go past that curve and just down a little ways. Now I'm going to pull the ribbon down just a little bit, and I may have to pull it down on the front side too. So I'm just going to take my pipe cleaner, and where this, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, if I can get it up close enough. There is a plastic, like a cross member going down through here. So that's what we're going to attach the pipe cleaner to. So I'm just going to go through, and it's easier for me if I just poke it through to the front. So I'm just going to pull this ribbon down a little bit so I can get my pipe cleaner through there. Maybe. Oh, if I can get it. There we go. So I've pulled it through the other side, and then I'm just going to bend it and pull it, push it back through to the back. So it will come right in between that other cross member there. So I'll hold this up where you guys can see it. You guys can see that right there, that cross member going through there. So that's where it's going to wrap around that. So I'm just going to wrap this around a couple of times. That's just to secure it so it doesn't go sliding everywhere. And then I'm just going to pull the two legs of the pipe cleaner up. I'm going to go ahead and readjust my ribbon here. Put it back where it was. And then I'm going to come up, and I don't want to see the hanger past the top of the hat. So I'll probably just stop it to right about here. So yeah, right about there. So now I'm just going to twist these pipe cleaner legs together. And you can cut them off at this point if you want to, or just keep on twisting and then bend them over. I'm going to go ahead and cut mine off just a little bit. And then where this is sticking up right here, I'm just going to bend it over. And that kind of just keeps it out of the way so that it doesn't scratch the door. So there is the hanger. Okay guys, this is the end of the video. Look how it turned out. It's so cute. I just love it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, because I would love to have you. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think about this wreath and if you're going to be making one. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Bye.